Lamada. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely, won't you start all reading? I just can't wait to be hearing story time with Mr. Lamada. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely, won't you start all reading? I just can't wait to be hearing.
Good morning, and welcome to Storytime. Thank you so much for joining me. Happy Tuesday, wherever you are today. Always a pleasure to be here with you, and of course, extra special now that we're back after a long time off, after 2 weeks break, which was refreshing indeed. Got to see family, got to relax, got to move, and of course, not just moving homes, but also moved jobs. But we're here. Storytime is here, and I'm so glad that we have this community together to continue sharing indeed wonderful books and wonderful stories. Thank you so much for being here on Storytime. I'm glad we're here together and talking about moving. Today we do have a special book coming back to us on Storytime, and this one is called Evelyn and REY is Moving Away. Yes, this one coming from the award-winning duo Medina and Sonia Sanchez. Get ready for this one. Get comfortable, get cozy, because we'll be getting started with our story very, very shortly. But I love this one, and I'm glad we have it back here on Storytime. And indeed, a big thank you to the publishers, Candlewick Press, for allowing us to read this book here on Storytime. Thank you so much indeed, and please do look forward to new Candlewick Press releases that will be coming here to Storytime. Yes, indeed, I'm excited for those, to see them, and excited for you to enjoy them as well. Thank you so much for joining in, and remember too that you can find these books at your local libraries, find them at your local bookstore, and indeed find them elsewhere where you find books and get to enjoy them. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. If you have a copy at home, grab it so we can read along together. Thank you so much for being here. As always, let us know where you are. And remember, too, that Storytime comes to you live at 7 a.m. Pacific time. And we also have the recording of the 7 a.m. at 11 a.m. Pacific time. And then, of course, you can catch Storytime anytime at your convenience at storytimewithmrlimada.com, at Storytime with Mr. Limada on YouTube and Facebook. Thank you so much for joining in. And of course, remember too that we're on Instagram, and we do post regularly there to let you know what's happening. Storytime. Thank you so much for being here, and welcome. Yes, a wonderful book awaits, but also I'd love to know how you're doing where you are. Please send us a message. Let us know that you're here. Let us know what you're doing and how the weather is like where you are. So let us see this morning who is with us, ready to enjoy a wonderful story. Good morning, good morning. And of course, today I do have a mission to get some names correctly if I did mess up yesterday. Hopefully they're here today too, so we get to say hi to them. Thank you so much for joining in. How are you doing in Washington? Good morning to you. Ali Amin, how are you today? And of course, Jessica, thank you so much for joining us. I am glad that we are here together. Indeed. And of course, please let us know too what you think of the new Storytime set. It is going to be tweaked over time until we get it to just what we want. And so, yeah, definitely your advice is needed. Thank you so much for joining in Story Time. Let us know what you like. Let us know what you don't like. And so we'll try and change that as well. Thank you so much for being here. Good morning to you one more time. Ali Amin. And of course, Jessica in Washington. And I see the clouds. Was it cloudy out today? Thank you for being here indeed. I appreciate you all. Good morning to you, Amanda West, and of course, Sarah and Nathan out in windy Illinois. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime today. Glad you're here, and of course, always, indeed, hugs to you. Thank you so much for joining us, and I hope that you're ready for today's lovely story. And of course, we'd love to know too what's happening in your neck of the woods. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Good morning one more time, Amanda West, Sarah, and Nathan. Thank you indeed for joining us on Storytime. Glad you're here with us. Yes, indeed. Love all the way, Jessica. And of course, Ali Amin, hugs to you. Thank you so much for joining us on Storytime. Good morning to you out in Massachusetts. How are you doing today, Clara and Erin? Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. And of course, Tara as well. Thank you for being here. And of course, if this is your first time to Storytime, we give you extra hugs and love. Thank you so much for joining in, and welcome to this wonderful community that we have here on Storytime. And indeed, hopefully, this is not the last Storytime that we're going to be seeing you. Good morning to you, Clara, Erin, and of course, Tara. Thank you so much for joining us out in Massachusetts. Thank you indeed. And of course, you do remind me of a wonderful friend out there, of course, Marietta, and of course, Henry, sending you love as well out there in Massachusetts. Thank you for being here on Storytime. Good morning to you, Pamela Courtney. How are you doing? Special love for you, Pamela. Always. Thank you so much for joining us on Storytime. I hope that your summer is going well. I know that summer break is almost coming to an end, but enjoy it indeed. I hope you're having a lovely time out there in Natchitoches, Louisiana. Thank you so much for joining in. It is a beautiful, sunny but humid day out where you are, researching curriculum for the kinfolk. Oh my goodness, yes indeed, getting ready for the upcoming school year. Love it. Thank you so much for joining in, Pamela Courtney. And indeed, one of these days, would love to sit in your research and see how all that goes to put that curriculum together for the year. Thank you so much for joining in. Always appreciate you. And of course, Pamela Courtney, looking forward to your book. I know the wait is so painful. It's that to be taking forever. Thank you so much for joining in, and indeed excited for you and excited for this wonderful community. Thank you for joining in, everybody. Get ready, get comfortable, and thank you to all of you that are joining us right now. But of course, we also say thank you to those that are joining us for the recordings later on. Indeed, do leave a message below. Let us know you were here, and indeed, so we can say hi to you. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. And please, if you know any authors that you love highlighted here on Storytime, whose work aligns with what we're trying to do here, the work of social justice and indeed the representation, I hope that you can send them our way and let them know that Storytime is here for them. Thank you so much for joining in. Are you ready for today's story? Yes. Get all those muscles pumping. Get ready, because indeed we are moving with Evelyn Del Rey. Thank you so much for joining in. Medina, and of course Sonia Sanchez bringing us this one, and of course Candlewick Press. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Yes, indeed, Pamela Courtney, that is what we're talking about, indeed. And you say, welcome, Clara, Erin, and Tara. And indeed, I'm sure I do speak for the entire Storytime community when you say you are very welcome here. And indeed, this is a space that is for everybody. Thank you so much for joining in. And indeed, we hope to see more of you here together. All right, get ready for our story, and we'll be right back after this short break, so you can enjoy our reading for today. Thank you so much for joining us. Get comfortable, get cozy. Join me on the other side of this very short message. Thank you for being here today with us on Storytime.
Hi, my name is Zetta Elliott, and I am the author of 40 books for kids, including Dragons in a Bag and A Place Inside of Me. You're watching Storytime with Mr. LaMotta.
And indeed, sending much, much love to Zeta Elliott, not just for the amazing work that she does. If you've not checked out Zeta's work, please do. And one of them, of course, we'll be highlighting later on in the week as well. It is A Place Inside of Me. Beautiful book, beautiful poetry. Do check it out. And of course, her latest, The Witch's Apprentice, which was in her young adult series. So please do join in for that one and enjoy it as well. Find it where you find books. But today we're being a feast, enjoying a feast from Medina and Sonia Sanchez. And this one is called Evelyn REY is Moving Away. And this one we're reading with permission of Candlewick Press. A big thank you indeed to all the publishers, creators out there that have allowed us to share amazing material here on Storytime. Yes, indeed, for our enjoyment. Here we go. Nice yellow sunrise. Evelyn REY is moving away. And you know who else just moved recently? Yeah, me. Evelyn REY is moving away. This one is written by Medina, illustrations by Sonia Sanchez, published and read with permission of Candlewick Press. Please do find it where you find books. Evelyn REY is my mejor amiga, my numero uno best friend. Come play, Daniela, she says, just like she always does. Just like today is any other day. But is it? I hope you get to play today, kids. I hope you get to have all the playtime you want. Come play, Daniela, she says, just like she always does. Just like today is any other day. So I bundle up and cross the street. A big truck with its mouth wide open is parked at the curb, ready to gobble up Evelyn's mirror with the stickers around the edge, her easel for painting on rainy days, and the sofa that we bounce on to get to the moon. Oh, this truck will gobble up everything. Oh, come help in the move. Carry a box or two. She is waiting for me inside the iron doors. Then we climb the steps 2 at a time, just like we always do. Who is your mejor amiga? Who is your mejor friend? Your numero uno best friend. We sneak past grouchy Mr. Miller's door, and we wave to Mr. Sue, who's feeding pigeons from the hall window. Senora Flores gives us each a cookie and says, "It's the big day." When we walk by, it is the big day indeed. Senora Flores, I want a cookie too. It is indeed the big day. And she says, as we walk by. Our apartments are almost twins, just like us. That's why I already knew all the good places for hide and seek and the spot behind the heater where we keep our special finds. Where do you keep your special finds? Don't tell. Yes, and the spot behind the heater where we keep our special finds. But the walls in Evelyn's room are sunny yellow, while mine are pink like cotton candy. And I live with my mommy and a hamster, and she has a mommy, a pappy, and a cat. We are mostly the same, just like our apartments, but not after today. Oh. We are mostly the same, just like our apartments, but not after today. Why? What's happening today? We find a still empty box near the door. In no time, I am a bus driver staring us all over the city. We play until the tables that were bus stops are gone and the beds that were skyscrapers have vanished too. When we look around, everything has disappeared except us. Yeah. We find a still empty box near the door. In no time, I am the bus driver steering us all over the city. We play until the tables that were bus stops are gone, and the beds that were skyscrapers have vanished too. When we look around, everything has disappeared except us. Soon, the truck outside rumbles off. Grum, grum. And there is a knock on the door. Hide, we say, giggling, just like we always do. But our mothers see us before we can slip away. Time to go, Mommy says. Evelyn and I hold hands in that wide empty space. We lean back and start to spin in circles, faster and faster until everything is a blur around us. Our fingers slip, but we don't let go until we wobble to the floor. Clear that space, spin away. We lean back and start to spin in circles, faster and faster until everything is a blur around us. Our fingers slip, but we don't let go until we wobble to the floor. We can talk every day after school, I tell her, though the world is still whirling. And you can visit me this summer, she says, and spend the night. Sleepovers. Oh. But I know that tomorrow everything will be different. Evelyn will be in a new home that doesn't match mine. Oh. I know that tomorrow will be different. Evelyn will be in a new home that doesn't match mine. Before we leave, I spot something in the corner, left behind in the dust. It's the last of Evelyn's sparkly stickers. We go downstairs and I press a heart on her cheek to seal our promise. Then she does mine just the same. Oh. We go downstairs and I press a heart on her cheek to seal our promise. Then she does mine just the same. Oh. We say, "Pa-da-da," while Mommy takes a photo. We do our secret handshake one more time. And then Evelyn hugs me hard. Oh. I hope that you get to hug somebody hard today. We say, "Pa-da-da," while Mommy takes a photo. We do our secret handshake one more time. And then Evelyn hugs me hard. Oh. Evelyn REY is moving away. So she won't be right here anymore. Oh. Evelyn REY is moving away. So she won't be here anymore. Mommy says not to be sad, that we will both make new friends. But when Evelyn waves one last time, the stickers still on her cheeks, I know she will always be my first mejor amiga, my numero uno best friend. Oh. Yes, indeed. Oh. But when Evelyn waves one last time, the stickers still on her cheeks, I know she will always be my first mejor amiga, my numero uno best friend. Oh. The one I will always know by heart. Oh. And that is the end. Join me after this short break. Oh my goodness.
This is Anika Rose-Reese, author of The Teacher's Pet, Watch Out for Wolf, Love Sophia on the Moon, the Anna Banana chapter book series, and Hide and Don't Seek and other very scary stories. And you are watching Storytime with Mr. Lamata.
Thank you, Anika Rose-Reese, and of course, thank you to you, our wonderful community today for joining in Storytime. I hope you enjoyed this lovely book that we had to read together today. And this one is called Evelyn REY is Moving Away. Find it at your local library, find it where you find books, and get to enjoy it. And of course, turn on that Storytime and so we can read along together, enjoy reading along together. Thank you indeed for being here on Storytime. I appreciate you. Kids, today, my wish for you is that you find as much playtime and creativity, creative time as possible, as Evelyn and Daniela were doing. And also, I hope that at least once in your life, you can find a special friendship like Evelyn and Daniela have. Thank you so much for joining in. It is indeed special. And for someone who has moved across the world, I tell you, it is hard. And I'm sure most of you know too, it is hard to move away from friends, to move away from family. But you know what? Nowadays, there's new technology that helps us stay in touch. And also, we get to visit, and it becomes even more special when we visit and spend time with our family and friends. And of course, we do build new friendships as well. Where we build roots, we put roots down, and in no time, that new place becomes home too. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. It is indeed a lovely book from Medina and Sonia Sanchez. Powerful duo. And just an amazing book that they have for us here. And a big thank you, of course, to Candlewick Press for allowing us to share this one here on Storytime. Please find it at your local bookstore. Find it where you find books. Find it at your local library and get to enjoy it. Thank you so much for joining in. My local bookstore here in Oakland is Marcus Books. There are many, but Marcus Books is definitely my go-to. What is your local bookstore? And of course, join us tomorrow as we continue this week of love. And love is definitely here on Storytime. And this one will be coming to you from Diane Adams and illustrated by Claire Keane. Yes, the familiar illustrations of Claire Keane. And this one will be coming to you from Chronicle Books of San Francisco. Good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining in. But please do not forget to join us tomorrow for more Storytime. This has been Storytime for today. Let us see one more time who was with us enjoying that lovely story indeed. Oh, yes, indeed. We don't forget. Welcome to you. A big Storytime welcome to you, Tara, Clara, and Erin. Thank you so much for joining in. Yes, Pamela Courtney, love you. Thank you so much for that. And indeed, we welcome you to Storytime. And you say, thank you. Well, you are very welcome. And Pamela, thank you indeed for, being such a wonderful part of this community and always bringing your positive energy and positive vibe. We love you. Thank you so much for being here on Storytime. Lydia Yamaguchi, good morning to you and welcome to Storytime. Thank you for being here. I hope you're feeling rested, and indeed, I hope that you get to have a lovely day, and indeed, go back and enjoy this story time. Thank you for being here with us today. Good morning to you. Pamela Courtney say, oh, I love the ending illustrations. So much emotion in this story. Right? So much emotion indeed. Love it. Well, I am with you there, Pamela Courtney. I love it. And I'm sure, you know, most of the people out here on the Storytime community love that one. And I guarantee you it is not the last time that that book will be here on Storytime. Good morning to you one more time, Sarah and Nathan out in windy Illinois. And of course, Amanda West, thank you for always joining in Storytime. Appreciate you, sending you love, and definitely we'll keep you in the loop of whatever is happening near you and when Storytime will be coming your way. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Jessica and Ali Amin in Washington, where I'm assuming today is cloudy. Thank you so much for joining in, sending you love, and I hope that you do indeed have a lovely day today, a day full of laughs and of course just beautiful smiles. Thank you so much for being here. Yes, indeed. Oh, you and me both. And you know, it's funny, some of my friends growing up called me Parker because my name is Peter, and so Peter Parker, and that was this joke that kind of just never left me. To date, some of my friends still call me Parker. Thank you so much for joining in. Definitely love some Spider-Man. But also, if you're into, you know, superheroes, I hope that you've been able to see the trailer for Black Panther that is coming up. I hope that you get to enjoy that as well. Thank you so much for joining in. Yes, Spider-Man signing away today. Thank you for being here, everybody. I appreciate you. Tara McNamara, and of course, joining us today. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you. And yes, welcome to you as well, to Clara and Erin. Thank you indeed for being here on Storytime. Much appreciations, and we'll see you for more Storytime tomorrow when we are back. Don't forget, Love is coming to Storytime. This one written by Diane Adams and illustrations by Claire Keane. Join us tomorrow, and indeed let us help enjoy and just, you know, remember to check in on somebody today. A little hello can go a long way. Thank you so much for being here on Storytime. Please let us know, for those of you that have been here, what do you think of the new set? What do we need to change? And of course, advice is welcome. All those, send us our way what you think we should do. We've moved to a new place, and we have an opportunity to make this Storytime set anything that we want, everything that you want to see. Thank you so much for being here on Storytime. Hugs! Oh, thank you. As I always say, this is indeed a happy place, and I hope that, you know, you also find the joy that I find in this place. Thank you so much for being here. Have yourselves a wonderful day. If you're still enjoying the little bit of summer before school starts, enjoy it to the max. But of course, remember to join us at 11 and 7 a.m. Pacific time. And of course, anytime at your convenience at storytimewithmrlimada.com, as well as at Storytime with Mr. Limada on Facebook and YouTube. This has been Storytime for today. Much love from me. Bye-bye.
With Mr. Limada, he will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Limada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely. Won't you start our reading? I just can't wait to be hearing story time with Mr. Limada. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Limada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely. Won't you start all reading? I just can't wait to be hearing face with a great big smile. You won't live lonely, won't you start? On a reading, we just can't wait to be hearing